Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 97 of the Purple Hyacinth podcast on the Story Tinker called Face a Face. And today we are with Meg and Fwoot.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
And we have an exciting episode for you today, only to get more exciting because we are in a super suspenseful arc and just hold tight.
And for those of you that follow the creators on Instagram, they've been reposting this chart to their stories with the action graph for when things are going to go escalate. And it's slowly building up towards 100, but they have not let us see past that point. So a lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah, I'm assuming 100 is going to be the last episode before a mid-season break. So that's why they don't even bother showing anything afterwards. But yeah, I'm positive 100 will be excruciating, and then we'll have to live with it for a matter of weeks.
Well, the hiatus right now is only about 2 weeks, but I'm hoping Soph takes a longer hiatus because she has been working nonstop.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and we should note that the music for this episode was added literally a couple of hours before the episode. We saw Soph post on Instagram. She's like, how about putting music on this episode 7 hours before launch? So the music here was done last minute. So that's amazing.
The crunch is real.
Mm-hmm. So Meg, do you want to start us off?
Yes, it's episode 97 where we last left our heroes. We've still got that panel with Kim looking at Lauren with the red light, and out of nowhere we see a hand come out and grab Kim's shoulder and pull her back, and it's Will pulling her away from Kieran and Lauren, which is Lune, and he brings her to the floor and he whips out his gun and he tells them freeze, and Kieran and Lauren stop in the hallway. They freeze in the hallway with their backs turned, and Will goes, "You're Lune, aren't you?"
Okay, Will is being all protective of his girl. I'm just saying, he doesn't know it, but he is, and it is so cute and we love it. He sees her in danger and he goes to rescue her. He probably would do the same for anybody, but whatever. Let's just pretend this is our sim moment.
He is very intense this episode.
Oh yeah, and when he goes grabs his gun and says freeze, ooh, that is you know what I mean?
Is this the first time we've ever seen Will pull a gun?
No, we saw him pull a gun, I know, at least in episode 25, and he might have pulled a gun out in the prologue.
Okay.
Was he in? Yeah, I know he was in the prologue. I don't remember if he was in that scene there, but
okay.
I know Harvey was there. He came in at the end. Okay, never mind.
Okay. I couldn't remember. My memory wasn't serving me.
It's very nice to see Will be decisive and proactive like this, because usually we see him being a softie, a sweetie, we know he's tough on paperwork, and he's probably very organized and self-disciplined, but we haven't seen him be aggressive, and that, it's not really his character. We know he's a really sweet guy. So, but he also is very much somebody who gets what has to be done, and he's very responsible. And it's so nice to see him step up to the plate and take action. It's good to see, that we admire people who can be leaders in times of difficulty and in times of what probably is, very anxiety inducing. I mean, this whole situation, this factory, they don't know anything. They don't know Lune. They don't know whether to trust Lune. It could be a setup, but Will is being very firm and proactive, and I like that.
How lucky did they get to run into Lune first and not anybody else?
Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah.
Well, I think Will is acting really aggressive towards Lune, at least, or compared to Kim, because of course Kim had that moment where she was with Lauren and she thought she might have seen Lauren, which has shaken her in this scene. But Will is the one who grabbed her shoulder and slammed the two of them onto the ground as he grabbed the gun to point at them, and that's oh wow. And he doesn't even think they're Phantom Scythe. He thinks they're Lune. And these are the people who have been working to save the city. It's kind of like very telling on the two's attitude, like between Kim and Will, their attitude on Lune.
Yeah.
But I see that. Definitely Will is more suspicious than Kim, because Kim is more willing to be, I think, morally flexible, like we've mentioned. But I also think that, Will is dealing with a lot of unknowns here. And he doesn't trust Lune. And yeah, this has a lot to do with his personality and like the not liking the breaking the rules thing. But also like, yeah, what we said before, unknown place, unknown intentions. Maybe it's a setup. Maybe it's someone pretending to be Lune, using Lune's name to lure the APD into a factory. Like, who knows what he's dealing with. So I understand his precaution.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, like I suspect he'd be like this, and it's just like interesting to note. But I think also Will should be at this point suspicious of Lauren being Lune. So I think it's also just interesting he would pull a gun out on them if he thinks Lauren is in Lune.
Maybe this shows us how skeptical he was and how he doesn't really believe that. But
or
yeah.
Maybe he does, and this is just his kind of almost maybe hurt, like deep down he's like, maybe it's true, and he's kind of reacting almost. I thought he would react angrily personally, so maybe this is some of that aggression or that pain coming out. Is like, if she is right, if this is my, one of my closest friends that I'm pointing a gun at, what does that say about our relationship?
Yeah, Will definitely take Lauren being in Lune way much worse or like so much more worse than Kim. So yeah, that's why I can see Kim having to like knock out Will at some point.
Why do you want to knock out Will?
Not yet, because end of the episode, but I can see her having to like stall him in some form. Or like some confrontation between the two of them.
I think Kim wants to talk and Will wants to react.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
So I don't know. Well, hopefully, I'm hoping we'll see that in future chapters, because as we see, it gets down to the end here, how they're going to come together. At least that's what I'm hoping for on the run of it. But anyway, continuing with where we left off, Will still got that gun pointed, and he says, "We've come here alone for now." And Kim goes,
wait, we have that scene of them holding their hands up. I was shocked because I was expecting I wasn't expecting them to run away. Honestly, what I really was expecting was like this verbal confrontation with the recognition, but that didn't happen. So I thought like, okay, they would just continue running. They would do some karate moves. They would like do these flips. I'm like, what? They're just like holding their hands up. The famous Lune, Purple Hyacinth, and Lauren Sinclair just getting up that easily. I was so shocked.
At this point, they know the APD doesn't know about the nitroglycerin, so they would not want to risk any accidental shots going off and everybody going kaboom.
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm. I agree with that, but it was still startling to see them.
They also want to sort of de-escalate the situation right now, and running away wouldn't do that, especially if they lose Will and Kim in the process, because like again Meg said, they want the APD to find the nitroglycerin, so they're going to need Will and Kim to follow them.
Not to mention they're in a factory full of Phantom Scythe members, and probably need to keep it as quiet as possible, so talking might not be a smart option. But anyway, they've got their hands up, and Kim asks, "Why did you call for us?" And
I think the reason that maybe Will says we've come here alone for now is to tell them, hey, if you're Laura, we're the only ones here now. This is your moment to open up before the whole APD comes.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Well, Lune didn't call for anyone specifically. They just requested APD help. And what's interesting is that I'm pretty sure that the glass factory is by the docks, and the docks are in the 13th precinct. So now I'm like, why did Will and Kim come from like the 11th precinct? It doesn't make sense.
It would be fun if it was random APD people.
I know, but like you should have at least like had them patrolling, maybe like they were helping out the 13th in some form, but no, it seems like they were still in the 11th when Lune called for help, when it would have made so much more sense to call from the like 13th, 1st, or 12th precinct, because they're like all closer.
But I don't think Soph and F were relying on their readers to have such big brains. Sorry.
Well, I'm just remembering the map they gave us.
Yeah. It'd be funny if like a completely different storyline if two completely different cops show up. No emotional conflict there. But anyway, they got their hands up and they pause, and then all of a sudden Lauren and Kieran, they dart. It's whoosh.
Wait, I noticed when I read this the second time around, do you notice that there's a shot of their feet and Lauren's go with her feet and then they run? I think that was their signal to Kieran to run.
Yeah. They probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they figured out some like just subtle movements as signals to each other before this, because there were some days in between this and 93. And now that I think about it, Kieran's bruises are basically forgotten at this point. Like, it was prominent. I mean, it was prominent in like 94, but because he was doing like physical work there, but it's now 97, and I don't think I've seen any mention of his bruises since 94.
I am wondering though if it'll come up later, like if a major dramatic moment will occur around Kieran like suddenly collapsing or something, and like the choice: do we leave him behind? Do we save him?
Maybe.
Sorry, we have to have that carrying Kieran out of danger moment. We have to.
You are so ready for the dramatics.
Yes, I am.
Me, I'm just like, well, they know each other's body cues because they're soulmates, and you know.
Well then.
Hey, I'm not moving, Fwoot. You know you're not changing my mind.
I know I'm not.
No, it's okay. I know where you're coming from, but let me have my moment. It's fine. But anyway, they're in the hallway and whoosh, they're out. Kieran is
I wonder why didn't they just be like make a hand movement, like follow us rather than run away, because I mean, a little dangerous.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, I think they knew that the police would chase them anyways.
Yeah, but I think if they would have signaled, it would have been a little more cooperative.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well,
but then again, it's Kieran. He has no brain cells. Do you think, like the two of them, like between them, do you think they would actually like be smart enough to figure out that, oh hey, we should probably figure out some hand signals that aren't for ourselves?
Yeah, I don't even think they figured out signals for themselves. Based on all their interrogations, I legit do not think they ever sat down to signal for each other, really.
Exactly. Literally.
Following that thought, if it was maybe officers that they didn't recognize, maybe they would feel comfortable standing in the shadows and like just saying the words, but it is Will and Kim, so maybe that changed things.
I don't see, right?
But anyway, Kim and Will give chase, and man, Kim's face when she ran down that hallway, she runs past Will now, and she's in front. They go down the hallway, they go down the stairs, and Kim goes to round a corner, and Will straight up grabs the woman by the collar, almost choking her, pulling her back, and does the old press against the wall, hand, hold her back trope to
simp moment.
Yep. Ship moment. We got it. That's a board for the ship.
Protecting her again for the second time.
I'm waiting for Kim to save Will at this point, which is ironic because I'm also expecting her to like stop him in some way, like that could get physical. Right. So yeah, I may be a contrarian.
And there is a Phantom Scythe member down the hall with a flashlight, and he's just walking past, and all of a sudden they hear a whack, and the flashlight falls to the floor and just glints. And pans back to Will and Kim, and they're just like, and the flashlight rolls, and they see the light come into the hall and they do their little one eye, you know, looking at each other. Another simp moment. And they peer around the corner and they see the body being dragged down the dimly lit hallway.
It's hilarious. It's just so funny. And this guy has like, it's just his profile is hilarious. By the way, Fwoot, I think it's your turn to take over.
Yes.
Oh my god. Imagine being Kim and Will in this scene and just getting someone like knocked out and you don't know if they're alive or not, because as we'll see in just a minute, they end up checking the dude's pulse, and like imagine being Kim and being like, oh my god, did Lauren kill someone, like for real?
Or can you imagine a scene without the music and just the sound effects where you're like there and then you hear the whap and then the clump sound to the floor and then that old comedic like sliding noise, like the as they're dragging the body across the floor.
It's just like what life is like for Soleil every single day, all the time.
What?
I don't know. Like,
I think you broke up and I only heard half of it.
Oh. I was gonna say that like this is what life is like for Soleil, like all the time, every day. Like this is what they have to deal with.
Yeah, I have to say I was expecting only tension in this episode, but we got both tension and humor. So thank you.
So Will notices Lune dragging the body and hiding it. And so they run over down the hallway and approach the body. Will says, check his pulse. Him says, on it. And she says, he's just unconscious. And she kneels down and says, what the hell? Oh, and the guard has a bucket over his head.
I can think of no reason for him to have a bucket.
Yeah, I don't know what the point of the bucket is.
Why not?
It's purely our entertainment.
Yeah, why not?
So
yeah, probably Kieran. We can all agree it was Kieran. Purely for dramatics.
Oh my god. That poor guard just trying to do his job, and then some overconfident assassin comes in and just knocks him out and
slams a bucket
on his head. Like the fashion atrocity. Like Kieran of all people should know how embarrassing it would be to be caught dead wearing a bucket. Literally.
That's why he's doing it.
So Kim notices that it seems like Lune is using the guard to point us towards that door because one of the guard's fingers is pointing towards the door. And Kim says they probably want us to follow them. And Will says, and end up in buckets. And then Kim says, this guard is armed. Do you think everything here is connected to the Phantom Scythe somehow? Lune wouldn't risk exposing their voice to the police if there was not immediate danger. Based on the fact he's armed, we should be ready to assume everyone here may be armed as well. And this is Will speaking now, like starting at base. But we don't have enough information to know for sure right now. We'll definitely have to stay on the lookout. Look, I know you suspect Lauren, and you might be right, but right now we only have circumstantial speculations. Don't let it affect your judgment as a cop. It might get yourself killed.
Yeah, I think both Kim and Will are being pretty clever here. Kim with realizing that Lune wouldn't take the risk unless it was necessary, and Will deducing that everybody here is probably armed. So I'm proud of both of them.
Mm-hmm.
But then also the thought of that he's afraid that Kim is going to lax up because she believes this person to be Lauren, and what if she's wrong? And he's right, she could get herself killed if she's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, Kim's expression in that panel, like where Will says it might get yourself killed. Oh. But now I'm just thinking right now, what if Dana did something similar to this and she ended up dead?
Yeah, that would make sense because she was a cop and she reacted, you know, Kim freaked out when Harvey was killed because it was a fellow cop. So, oh, yeah. And if she's anything like Kim, she was very bold. Hi.
That adds a new layer of pain to my chest. So thank you for that.
But yeah, this interaction really tells us that Will is trying to stay as professional as possible. He is still taking, like, you know, what they taught him in police school, what to do. He is doing it by the book, whereas Kim is a bit more flexible in how she approaches issues. She's mainly been following Will, but she herself hasn't really acted in any way aggressively towards Lune up to this point. And it's probably because she probably believes in what Lune is doing, and also because she thinks that Lune is Lauren.
Yep.
And so, continuing on, Kim flashes back to the moment where she was pinned against the wall, and she thinks it was too dark, and the red light didn't help distinguish the colors. And she's looking at the panel of Lauren's eyes. So she's thinking about those golden pensive eyes. Then Kim comes back to the present and she says to Will, "You're right."
Here, I thought for sure that Kim had recognized Lauren, but here we see she apparently wasn't sure, but she definitely suspects.
I really hope she finds out by episode 10. I don't want this to drag on for another 50 episodes.
Yeah.
I hope they don't do that to us. I don't think they're going to do that to us.
Given the way this episode ends, I don't see how that's possible, honestly.
Yeah. Oh my god. If I have to endure 50 episodes of Kim wondering if Lauren is Lune, I don't know. It's gonna be so stressful. But yeah, so Kim takes the bucket off the dude's head and pulls his gun. I don't remember. Did they lose their guns at some point?
Maybe she just wants to have more guns and to take it away.
I don't think so. I think they're just disarming the guard.
Okay. Because I know Will's been using that Phantom Scythe one too. That Phantom Scythe gun. So they go through the door and enter a staircase. Yeah. And they're looking down through the crevice of the staircase, or like, you know, that like, or not crevice, but like, you know, that area in between the stairs where you can look like directly down. It's very thin. And Kim and Will at the same time, they both say the last floor.
Yeah, and I didn't notice it the first time, but there's a blinking light. So Lauren and Kieran must be blinking a light for them to signal them.
And so we get this panel of Lauren and Kim going down. They're holding their guns in a very police-like manner. So they are ready to shoot if needed. And they creep up to what's another door, and you can see some crates through the window of that door. Oh, I wonder what that could be. And we get a panel of Will looking in through the door. It's kind of hard to see him there, but he is there, and the door has chains on it. So they open the door, I think, and they find a flashlight shining on a green box, which we presume has been, left for them by Lune. So Will and Kim look to each other, and they approach the green box. I don't remember when we switched.
Yeah, around here. Yeah, when they look at each other, it's also adorable. This is like the second time they're doing that like side glance. It's really cute. So now Will is reading the letter while Kim is looking at the bottle, and she says, "Wine bottle." She's acting very Kim-like. "Wine bottles without labels? How classy!" And she just keeps talking. "Do you think they let us here to get drunk with them? Seems a little melodramatic, but I've been on worse dates. Weird coloring though." It's just going on and on while Will is reading the letter, and then he's like, "Wait, don't touch it. This is all nitroglycerine." And then their eyes are like, opening up wide.
So where did Kieran and Lauren get the time to write a letter?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. And did they even have a pencil on them? Did they have to like steal a pencil?
Where's the office supplies? Like, did they just get that from the, Phantom Scythe archive room? It's like,
yeah, maybe they just like took some paper from there.
Or maybe it's a receipt from a shipment.
Oh, that's true. Maybe Lauren like stole some from the Phantom Scythe archive room, and she was like, "Here, Kieran, I got you a gift." And just Phantom Scythe archives.
Or imagine like reading it. Dear APD, this is nitroglycerin 𝗥𝗲𝗱𝗃 Lune.
I would say like imagine if it was like written in like text speak, so like with a bunch of oh my god, I don't remember what they're called, but like LOL,
yeah,
ILY, like if they just like wrote it in that, but I don't think they did because Will was able to read it.
Good point.
P.S. Herman, we love you.
Would not be in there. Anyway, so Kim expositorily says nitroglycerin as one of the most powerful explosives ever made.
Oh my god, Kim, like thank you for telling us, as if we didn't realize from spending half the season looking for this one place. And like being introduced in the first 10 episodes on what this thing would do to an entire city.
Or you're just that ignorant. The APD, like a drunk, just blew up a whole alley a couple nights ago and no one knew anything.
And that's weird, by the way, that like he managed to like blow up and we didn't hear about it.
I think it's because there was a dude who was chasing after him, right? I think that person covered it up.
Maybe. I don't know if anyone was chasing him, but I think maybe he heard some noises. I didn't get the impression they actually knew about his existence.
There was someone who was telling him to stop.
Okay. I'll have to look again. I don't remember.
Or like at least get away or something.
Okay. So Will says exactly that. And he thinks to himself, there were also green crates where we entered. And then he goes on the radio immediately and says, "This is Lieutenant Hawks reporting verified explosives in green crates in the Lloyd glass factory. Around 20 to 30 armed guards on premises," which I don't know how he got that number since I don't think he saw them, but okay. "Large quantities of nitroglycerin held in the basement and the loading dock from what we've seen." And, he kind of like looks to Kim to confirm, and she nods, which is nice, right? They're working together. And he says, "I repeat, large quantities of nitroglycerin stored in green crates and in the basement and loading dock of the Lloyd glass factory. Around 20 to 30 armed guards requesting immediate backup and the perimeter around the entire block. Call the bomb squad." And now we have Captain Herman here. "Message received. Backup will arrive any minute. Please stand by and report any developments in the factory." So, and then Will has a line, "Thank God the radio is working now. Weather must have calmed down." I don't know about y'all. This is sus to me. Weather, March, Herman. What do you think?
Swear to God, if Herman turns on them right now, I will beat him because I have spent a good portion of the last few months since I don't know, January, trying to defend this man. And so if he turns his back on them right now, I will throttle him.
Yes, I am on that boat because I too have defended Herman against the thongs. Throngs. I meant to say hordes and throngs. The throngs of people who are bashing Herman. I always said he's just lawful neutral or lawful good. He's just too
He's a horrible boss to people, but at least he gets the job done. And he was right to demote Lauren, okay?
Forget the Kieran betraying Lauren. This is Herman betraying Fwoot and Mindy.
But, this also could be alternatively I can't say this too hard. The Herman and thongs theory, but never mind.
No.
I'm not explaining the visual that popped into my head when you said that.
Oh my God.
If you all thought that the Kierman Kierman visuals were cursed. This is where
I'm gonna cry. I did not sign up for this. I signed up for a podcast, not a cursed Herman image.
We did discuss that a little last night, Mindy, whenever we were talking about it. The only thing is I was thinking that wouldn't make sense for, if Herman would be lying that he got the message or something like that. Like Randall knows that they're there. Like a lot of people know where they're at. They're all on the same, radio chain. I think they can all hear the messages, so it wouldn't really make sense. So
yeah, I mean, it's possible that like the part about the weather and March checking it was literally just the weather and March checking it, but I don't know. The truth is, what Meg, you said like last time is so true, that we're so paranoid at this point. We cannot distinguish like real theories or like, real grounds for suspicion between normal behavior. So yeah, we're too far gone.
I mean, that is true, right? Because in episode 95, yeah, 95, I think that's when they phone the APD, and it's very stressful because we know that the APD is having some communication problems, and so we're like, oh no, will the message get through? But then and some parts are missing from their when they call the APD. But then what's weird is how at the beginning of 96 it's already solved. March already knows where they are, so like what was the point really if it was going to be solved in an instant like that? Like we didn't even see them work to get that address at all. March just already had it for some reason.
Great point. That lends a lot of credibility to the susness theory. That is a great point. Nice. Okay, I'm back on the sus train. They're all sus.
I swear to God, if March is Phantom Scythe, which I can totally see him being Phantom Scythe, I will probably cry.
I will quit.
No,
I will.
No.
I won't be able to deal. March. I love March. March is my baby.
March and Dakin, like Phantom Scythe dads.
Dakin already I can see, because Dakin has a history and Dakin has motivation. Dakin has, we have good cause to suspect him, but Marchie baby. Okay, I cannot call him Marchie baby. Sorry, he's too old to be calling him that. Okay, scratch that.
Yes. I think I don't want Herman or Tristan to be Phantom Scythe, but I think I'll be more mad if Herman is Phantom Scythe. I'll be sad, like I'll cry if Tristan is Phantom Scythe, because I genuinely believe in him, and I think he's just a really good dude, because like he was just trying to raise Lauren. Like he took in Lauren after his family died. So it's like he's a good person, but if he turns out to be Phantom Scythe, oh no. Oh no.
I mean, I think we're gonna have to like reconcile ourselves to the fact that people we know and like are going to be Phantom Scythe, because it's just inevitable.
Kieran said.
Yeah.
I don't think
that we knew right away.
I don't think Darcy's Phantom Scythe though, so I'm safe.
Yeah. Okay, so now when they after they discover this, suddenly Kieran and Lauren appear in the doorway of the door, seemingly quite deliberately. They go there so that they can be seen. And Kim asks, how did you manage to find this out? Kieran, we have a focus on Kieran's face. We have and then she says, who are you? And then they disappear. So I'm like, why did they?
Well, yeah. What was the point?
Well, they needed Kim and Will to notice them again so they could follow them, I think. But
like to find a way out, maybe? Like I don't know.
But then I also think the authors wanted a moment for Kim to ask them who they were.
Yeah, for dramatic effect. Not so much make sense for plot, but made sense for the dramatics.
Yeah.
Honestly, we'll never know if they wanted to like make them follow them again. Won't know because of what happens next. Because we have a bzzz and the light goes on. And when Meg and I were reading this yesterday, I shrieked so loud. My husband commented on that afterwards. He noticed. Because I was like, oh, the light went on. And then we have a flash of Kim's face and Will's face and Lauren's face and Kieran's face. They're like looking at the source of light, like, oh, shizzle. And we hear a thunk, and we hear someone else saying, finally, I could barely breathe in there. And it's 3 Phantom Scythe people coming out of the giant lift elevator. And they're staring at them because the room is fully illuminated now. And you have Will and Kim, and you have Lauren and Kieran in the back. I don't know how they got there. I guess they were by the door. That's the door. Okay. And Kim says, shit. And then the Phantom Scythe people are like, sound the alarm. No one shoot in this room or we all blow up, which thank God they had enough training to remember that.
Mm-hmm. And
Kim and Will are like, take the stairs. And someone pulls the alarm bell. We have the red alarm bell beeping. Phantom Scythe members all over the factory are being alerted to this. Attention, everyone, code 3. We see random people all over. 4 intruders were seen in the basement. Beep, beep. The blonde guy who was knocked out. Wait, didn't he have a mustache before? Nah, guess that's a different guy. Blonde guy who was knocked out is awakening. And he says, find them and kill them. And Lauren and 𝗥𝗲𝗱𝗱, Lune and Soleil are running up the stairs, dashing for their lives. The end. Whew. Okay.
Wow.
We have this scene, which we'll discuss too.
Going up the stairs, running beside Lauren and Kieran. So, homie, what's your name?
Yeah, there is no way they are not going to like be together now. I mean, they're gonna have to find a way to like not die against all those people. And there's no way they're hiding their faces now. They're like an inch away from each other.
I can imagine, as far as like, this is, you know, how we try and predict what we think the following chapter is going to start. Like, I can envision them running, maybe the mask sliding down, or Kim just getting a really good look, and she's like, Lauren, and then she like maybe Kieran, and then they're kind of like the banter back and forth. He's like, you're Lune, I knew it, and they're just kind of like arguing back and forth as they're running for their lives. Like, it's a very important moment, so I don't think it's going to be reduced to humor, but that would be funny, and I could see it.
Alternately, Kim will be like, Lauren, and Lauren will be like, no, it is not I. And she'll be like, I recognize those golden pensive eyes anywhere. No. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, we can see why the next episode is going to be whoop, on the chart.
I can't wait. It's already Tuesday, so we've got 6 more days. It's fine.
Talk about the cutscene.
Oh, the buckets?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
so
glorious.
Does anyone want to take it out, do that part?
I'll do it. I can't really tell what's going on, but I'll try. So we see someone coming down the stairs, and they say, all right, I'll go upstairs and get the generator. Jesus, stop yelling at me. And Kim and Will are panicking, and then they notice the janitor stuff, and Kim and Will, they turn over to it, and we see the guard come down, and they say, ungrateful brats. And they open this one door and go into that room, and we see the janitor stuff right next to the door, and then we see Kim and Will pop out like with buckets under their head. Like, they pop out, and because they have like buckets on their head. And Kim says, I don't know what I expected when I signed up for the police force, but it's definitely not this. Let's go. And then Kim says, I should go to the office every day wearing a bucket. And Will says, no, you don't.
Yep. Very cute.
I'll admit, I don't get a lot of the humor with the buckets, but maybe that's just me being thick-headed.
Maybe they're just being like funny about having to wear buckets.
Mm-hmm. And the author's note is, I'm now obsessed with buckets. I want buckets in everything and everywhere. Make a whole webtoon with buckets. Bucket, 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 bucket. Am I okay, you ask? At
this point, I have that image of when Soph streams, she has sometimes this meme of like that thing going ha ha ha, where she like wants to like point out how like she's gloriating and laughing at us. So yeah.
I think Buckethead, I think Stormtrooper. That's where my brain goes.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I never watched Star Wars, so I am missing that association. Well, y'all, what do you think of this episode and next episode?
I feel like I didn't get enough.
Yeah,
I think there's a transition.
Action. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this episode was definitely more of a transition into like the big stuff. And I commented on this episode, what a lovely bonding night for Lune and 𝗪𝗱𝗍. Nothing like a good old 30 armed people currently trying to kill us to lighten the mood.
Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. Exciting.
Yeah. Bonding night for eclipse. Let's go.
Exciting. This is currently the last podcast I think I'm signed up for, so I don't know at what point in the future I will be back, but it has been absolutely fantastic to go over this stuff with everybody, and it's just been really fun. I've enjoyed every part of it, so thank you, Mindy, for the opportunity. I'm sure I will be back at some point, but I'm currently not signed up, so
I'm gonna go miss you.
Yeah.
So I'm not dying, so like
yeah. Mm.
I need someone else to get frustrated at for something. It can't just be Mindy. You can't leave the entire responsibility to Mindy.
That's all I was for you, Fwoot. You just like to see me enraged. You just like to get under my skin and see me rage or cry or doubt my beloved Kieran. Like, you love doing that.
Everyone should doubt Kieran.
Okay, wait, if you had to choose, who would you rather us doubt, Kieran or March?
I mean, I already doubt March all the time, and I think that this fandom babies Kieran way too much, so I would rather you guys doubt Kieran. Because March is already sus. It's just in general.
Well, we shall find out.
Kieran gets endlessly traumatized and beaten half to death, and Fwoot's like, you baby him too much.
I'm just saying, that is an adult man when I see it.
Oh my goodness.
I think you're right.
He has to file his own taxes, probably. Like, that's adult stuff.
I have less to say about that topic in my personal life, which I shall share after the podcast. Funny. Well, y'all, thank you so much. This was great, and we'll see each other soon, and we will find out what happens.
I'm very excited for next week.
Oh, yep. Yeah. Beth is about to fly off the fan, if it isn't already. Like,
right.
They haven't like an entire factory chasing after them. But then again,
full of nitroglycerine.
The worst. Yeah, is this the worst thing Luna's been through? No.
Nah.
They've been through way worse, and I'm trying to think of what was worse, but I really can't.
They've
been through worse. What did Lune do?
Catch y'all next week, and we'll see what happens. Okay, see ya. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.